as well as the Ghanaian society is, why change the winning candidate?
The group says the New Patriotic Party would have to forget about election 2016 if Nana Addo is not acclaimed unopposed. What does this mean for the party? Is this demand turnable? Where would it lead the party? My name is Stephen Anti, and this is today's big story. At a press conference to issue the ultimatum, the group said there are too many contestants vying for the slot.
We should not pretend to be oblivious to the clarion call by our mothers in the market, our sisters kayayes, our brothers shoemakers, coconut sellers, street vendors, fisher folk, and the teeming disenchanted youth to the NPP for a candidate who is known and will be readily accepted by all to lead the party NPP to victory 2016. We can better unite this party with our limited resources if we back one person. And we are repeating, we can better unite this party with our limited resources if we back one person. Also, we can win 2016 with only one candidate the people have said they want. Let us show respect and give the people what they want, so they will vote for us instead of going through this contest, which will end up providing the NDC with ammunitions to harm us and to destroy our chances. The conclusion of the signals we are picking from the ground suggests the party's grassroots supporters want an acclamation at the Congress and not an election. Indeed, the question that is bugging the mind of our massive foot soldiers, of which we, the youth, constitute the majority, as well as the Ghanaian society, is why change the winning candidate? Won't we be endorsing the position of the rebels within our party who opined that we lost the 2012 elections?
Well, the group also wants Nana Addo acclaimed as the flag bearer, just as was done for former President Kufuor ahead of the 2012 elections.
His Excellency John Ejekun Kufuor is the most successful president Ghana ever had, and the pride of NPP.
Thank you.
In 2004, he became the biggest beneficiary of acclaiming a candidate and setting aside competitive elections. We appeal to him to use his weight and influence in the party to call the other aspirants to order and let common sense prevail once again. And in the spirit of unity and the aim of uniting power, allow us to acclaim a candidate rather than waste our resources and time competing amongst ourselves. We appeal to him to call the likes of Alan Kwejo Chematin, Asamoah Boateng, Osei Ameyao, Professor Frimpong Boateng, Adai Nimo, and to allow us to acclaim Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and commence our 2016 campaign immediately.
Well, the group also wants former President Kufuor to intervene in the matter and press on the executives not to go ahead with the primaries. We're trying to get onto the telephone line and speak to Dr. Eric Bosman Asare. I'm told that he's joined us on the telephone. Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us on today's big story. Well, we lost Dr. Eric Barima Asare, who is a political scientist at the University of Ghana Political Science Department. Today's big story is that the youth wing of the NPP, the Greater Accra Regional Youth Wing, is giving the party executives an ultimatum to declare unopposed Nana Akufo-Addo to contest the 2016 presidential elections without any primaries. Now, the party ahead of its primaries in June, somewhere in June 6 or so, they're going for their opening nominations for the primaries. The youth wing of the party in Greater Accra wants this annulled and are calling on the former president, Kufuor, who they say benefited from this gesture to impress on the party executives to give this chance to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We're now joined on the line by Dr. Eric Barima Asare. Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
So this comes at a time where many political watchers are wondering whether for 2016 it's going to be for Nana Addo or Alan Tremanting. Is this not the beginning of divisiveness in the party already?
No, I think one can argue that is the beginning of divisions within the party. But in building a democracy, these things are necessary, these things are relevant, they are normal, they are some of the things that can certainly happen. And political party, especially like the NPP, we should expect that people are going to have different opinions that will differ at times from the mainstream, at times from those who are in the leadership position. So I think that it's not really a bad thing for the party. The main thing is that the party should be able to close their ranks when some of these better activities do occur. The youth have every right to make some of these suggestions, but the big picture is that the big wigs within the party, those who really matter in the activities of the party, those who can influence the actions and the inactions of the party, like the former president and some lady members within the party, must make sure that things are done properly, so that in case there is any bitterness, some people can find a way to come together to address the common good of the party.
Now, I mean, how does this work? Does the party's constitution permit such a thing? I do know that, as the youth wing are saying, the former President Kufuor benefited from this. Is there a clear rule in the constitution which mandates the executives of the party to give this concession, if you may call it?
No, I think that the constitution does not really specify something like that. It's not so specific on something like that. But no, the youth are trying to make the case that somebody like the former president, very influential, at least on record, he has led the party to 2 electoral victories. So he should be able to use his influence, his status in the Ghanaian political society to be able to influence. And I think that's a legitimate call, especially when the youth members of the party think that if things are not done properly, it's really going to affect the fortunes of the party. But the constitution is really made for the party. I don't think the party was made for the constitution. So at any point in time, if the leadership strongly believe that certain things are not going right, and as such, if they have to follow the constitution, it's going to bring some untold hardship on the party, I think they can really sit down, because they have a process to amend some of the provisions in the document. So I think that it's not a fast line that once this is what the constitution says, we have to abide by it, if even it's going to affect the fortunes of the party in the upcoming elections.
Right, I'll have you hold Dr. Barima Asare, and I'm joined on the other telephone line by a Greater Accra regional organizer of the NPP, Archibald Kobina. Archibald, it's great to have you on today's big story.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, sir?
To your listeners, I'm good.
Great. Now, this is a call that many political watchers will wonder whether the timing is right. Did your group, the NPP and the youth group, really think about the timing of this before coming out?
I sincerely want to believe that not just the issue with regards to timing, but even I believe that the tone of the release had some problems. But I mean, going forward, I want to say categorically.
Now, Archibald, let's get it straight. You say that the tone of the release has problems. What problems?
Yeah, there were certain aspects of it that I believe that they could have done better with it.
And which aspects are these?
I would not want to go into that detail.
I mean, if you're raising it on the platform like this, it will buttress every point that you make. So it's actually unfair for you not to raise these critical issues so that we can analyze from then onwards.
Yeah, well, I think for me, the critical issues are quite clear. That we have gone through elections right from polling stations up to national level. And the national chairman, who is the leader of the party, has made it clear to all of us as executives of this party, this great party, that we must all stay neutral and be balanced and ensure that we create a level playing field for all the prospective candidates, if there is any. The national executives have come up with a date that they are opening nominations from 6th of June to 7th July. And subsequently, anybody who is ready to pick a form could do that. And I think that we all need to respect that. If by the end of close of nomination, only one person goes to pick, fine. If there are 2, 3, then we'll have to deal with it. So as of now, as executives, regional executives, our doors are open to, when the time comes, to any candidate or all candidates who will pick forms and will go through the processes to go through the region and send their message to the grassroots, who are the key makers and the deciders.
So Archibald, if I get you right, it suggests that the leader of the team, the Greater Accra Regional Communications team member Bernard Owusu, who led the press conference, does not have the full support of the entire Greater Accra region team.
Did the person say he was the regional communications person?
Well, you tell me. I mean, you are a party member, so you may know Bernard Owusu.
No, there is no Bernard Owusu who is the NPP Greater Accra, who is a regional communications person that I know of.
So which Bernard Owusu do you know of?
I don't know. I don't know that Bernard. I just came to the office. I got the statement and I went through it. Right. And I'm responding to the statement.
Okay,
but with regards to Greater Accra Communications, I wanted it to be clear that there's no Bernard Owusu who happens to be Greater Accra Communications person.
Right, you've made your point very clear. And we'll come back to you. We'll hold you. We're trying to get onto the other telephone line and get Ben Efson, who is a pollster, to make some analysis on this situation as well. We still have Dr. Eric Bosman Asare on the line. So if you're there, I mean, here is it. I mean, the Greater Accra Regional team, if you listen to the presentation from its organizer, Archibald Kobina, it does appear that this is not a decision that was made with a collective agreement of the entire team. This is worrying, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. When a political party has developed cracks like that, it's really going to be problematic in terms of the fortunes of the political party. But I think the party should be able to look beyond that, because this is a party that has touted itself or herself to be a democratic entity. And in such arrangements, it's only normal that people will express views that are very divergent, that are completely inconsistent with the popular opinion. So I would suggest that if it's the region or the national, they must really bring all these people on board, and because as a political party keenly interested in winning an election, you just want to make sure that things are done in such a way that it will really enhance your fortune. So you don't want divisions that are based on partisanship or age-related or gender-related or religious-related. So I think the party should be able to address that before it becomes a major problem.
But he raised a critical issue, though. I mean, he made reference to the fact that any call for acclamation of one person will be unfair to the rest who qualified to contest for the slot of flag bearer. I mean, this makes sense politically, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
And so what's the way forward? to make everyone who qualifies give that person a chance to contest or make the decision to go with Nana Addo?
So I think that the party should be able to do some scientific analysis, because the big picture is that you don't want to be seen as imposing a particular candidate on the political party, because there are many factions within the party and all of them will really want to make their voices heard. So I think that the party should not take a decision that they are going to impose a particular candidate or they are going to make it likely that a particular candidate will win, make it a level playing field, and I think that will really inure to the benefit of the party.
Right, Dr. Barima Osei, I know you're not a pollster or you haven't been doing trend studies. We're trying to raise Benefson on the other telephone line to do some trends. But what indications are you getting for the flag bearership slot of the NPP? What do you think or foresee or read in between the lines to see as the best option for the party as they go into 2016?
No, I think that whoever the NPP will present, be it Nana Akufo-Addo, Mr. Alanchire Martin, Dr. Bawumia, Mr. Ezekose, Mr. Damboche, the election is still going to be very competitive. Because let's bear in mind, we have voters who do not really vote on the core issues that are affecting them. There are several reasons why people vote, and issue-based voting is really very minimal on their list. So I think on that score, whoever they will present, the main thing is that the party must be unified. They must believe that this is the candidate that will really take them to the promised land, here meaning winning the election. So I don't think a particular candidate really has the miracle to get the job done. The main thing is that the party must be united behind that particular candidate. Once the party is coalesced around such a person, I think the sky can only be the limit.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Eric Bosman Asare, a political scientist with the University of Ghana. We're joined on the other telephone line now by Benefson. Benefson is a pollster and managing news editor for Daily Dispatch. Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Stephen, and good evening to your viewers.
Yes, I'm sure that this is all very obvious to you. You possibly are not surprised by calls from the youth wing to declare Nana Addo as flag bearer of the party unopposed and call off the primaries. For you, who is studying the trends, what does this tell you?
I think that the youth are out of touch, and that should be worrying for the NPP hierarchy. Because clearly, I read part of editorial in the MPP's mouthpiece, the Statesman, and it is trying to equate that President Kufuor in 2004, they were behind the scenes arrangement for him not to be challenged at the primaries. There was a distinction there. Nana was, President Kufuor was the incumbent president. Two, if they are trying to say they are democratic, why should Nana, I'm sure, will relish a challenge? So I believe that there could be mischief going on, because I'm very surprised that they would think that they will be singing the tune of Nana, that he should not be challenged. I'm sure Nana will relish a challenge and decisively put his foot down as to who is most popular in the NPP.
And there are those who think that, I've got a lot of Facebook comments suggesting that the move by the youth is actually shooting Nana Addo in the foot, because a real Democrat should allow for others to contest him for the slot of any position that he's seeking. Do you agree with such arguments?
Well, I heard on your network, the radio, that clearly I think Mustafa saying that Nana will relish a challenge. But I think Nana Akufo-Addo will have to come out officially, his office will come out officially to distance themselves from the group statement, so that the group will see that you can't cry than the bereaved, that the one you want to protect. Because even with this opening, they've set the date for June 6th to file nominations. The alternative of trying to any attempt to declare, to try and intimidate others, we see a split in the parties down the line. If this is the position that some people in the hierarchy are trying to let this youth group float the idea, float the balloon to test, they better abandon it. To not augur well for the party.
Right, Ben Epson, I beg we will have to hold you briefly. We're joined on the line by Ben Osu, who organized a press conference earlier today to make that call on the executives to rescind their decision to hold the primaries. Good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
I mean, we spoke to Archibald Corbin a while ago, and the indications we get from him is that possibly you are not authorized to speak on behalf of the party. Your reaction?
I'm sorry to remind us. I think our constitution mandates the organizers. When I talk of the organizers, it comprises the main organizer, the women organizer, and the youth organizer. And the women organizer and the youth organizer are the only people who have the mandate to have their wings, to be autonomous in doing their own activities.
So you are autonomous, if that's what you're saying.
That is what the party mandates the youth organizer to have his wing, whereby the youth organizer happens to be the wing's chairperson, the deputy becomes the first vice, etc.
So where do you fit? I mean, we're trying to get a clear understanding of what you're saying. I mean, you are mandated to speak for the party by virtue of the fact that you belong to the
I am mandated as the communication director of the youth wing.
Of the youth wing.
Of the youth wing.
Okay.
Not the youth wing of the party.
All right.
This is the youth wing.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are people who say that, I mean, making such a call is actually trying to shoot Nana Addo's ambition in the foot. And you're actually intimidating people who, ahead of the nomination, would want to file their nomination on June 6th. By you coming out at this time to say everybody should back off for Nana Addo is a bit unfair to Nana Addo as well. What do you say to that?
It looks as if people are taking the whole thing out of context.
Okay, so tell us the context.
What we are saying is that as a youth wing, as the youth of the party, we go round and listen to the grounds and make informed decisions. Now, it is not because of Nana Addo this thing is being held. That is what we must get it clear. If it happens to be A tomorrow, the next day we'll go for A. We are only saying that what the people say on the ground, that is what the party has to listen. After all, they are saying what is all over the place is if this man doesn't come, no vote. If tomorrow it is Alan or Dr. Apreku or whoever, the statement still stands. All we are asking for is unity. Because at this mature moment, you and I know what is going on the ground. And we don't need to go beyond what the ground demands or what the ground wants.
Right, thank you very much, Bernardo Osu, Communications Director of the Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party. We still have Ben Epson online. So, Uncle Ben, I mean, before June 6th, I mean, what would you say the NPP should be concerning itself with? I mean, will these things help? Will they not be arming the opposition, the NDC, for example, to get inroads into perhaps, harming them ahead of the elections itself?
The gentleman you just spoke to clearly he couldn't even articulate his position well. If I say that there should be no contest, what is the criteria that they are deciding? I mean, what shows that if people are saying that there shouldn't be any contest is for Alan? Have they done any research to show that those who are saying there should be no election, they are saying that for the benefit of Ranado? What shows that they are not saying for the benefit of Apreku or Alan Chamati? Are you with me?
I am with you, yes.
Yes, so if they are saying he was quite incoherent, if they are saying that their call is for Apreku or Nana or Alan, what is the proof that those who are saying there should be no election, they should select one person? What's the basis? Maybe the supporters of Apreku can say that, yes, they've gone on the ground, and people are saying that there shouldn't be any election to take Apreku the flag bearer.
So really, Ben, you're saying that this call is a no if the party wants to go places.
Yes, I mean, and I think that Chairman Afoko and Kwabena Japan will have to really put their foot down because, I mean, this is the youth in Greater Accra. There are 10 regions. So what if each region supports one of the 10 people whose names have come up? What will happen? The answer is chaos.
Do you suspect that? Do you suspect that perhaps? Do you suspect that perhaps? I mean, pro Nanado people or pro Alan people are behind these this youth wing coming out with such a statement.
It is very possible in politics. Don't dismiss anything. That is why it's important for Nanado's office to issue a statement dismissing that he is prepared. He doesn't want this, because it is quite possible that a pro-Alan or pro-Africa or pro-anybody could pretend to be supporting Nana and create this affection for Nana. So the earlier Nana's faction comes out, Nana Akufo-Addo's office comes out to deny, the better it will be for Akufo-Addo.
And do you feel, really, I mean, you may have support, factual support to this because you possibly may have done some research work. Do you think that Nanado can win the primaries against any of the contestants that were being mentioned by this youth wing?
I think Nanado will win the primary.
But that doesn't guarantee that he will do well in the presidential, does it?
No, that is not. And that has been the argument of Alan and Alan supporters, that they want to make Nana on a decru. Yes, he's popular in the party. But it is true that no candidate in the modern day elections can win on their core support, both NDC and NPP. So Alan's argument has been select a candidate who appeal to floating voters more, because the core support are likely to vote for whoever is selected. But Nana haven't gone on tour, and that was the thrust of his message to delegates in the U.S. That Nana has gone on 2 occasions, he's had difficulties, select me, and that they think he's the best. So the fact that Nana will win maybe convincingly in the internal primary does not imply that he will win the general election in 2016.
What's your prediction then? Can you make a prediction?
Nanado?
Yes.
When nominations close, because you see, the more people contest Nanado, the easier they make it for him. Let's get below 50%. So I haven't done any work. But if you look at the performance of his support base in Tamale of 5,000 supporters, where he got a little over 50%, if you add those who drew votes from Nana's support, and you're talking about 145,000, Nana is more popular among the grassroots, the polling station level.
I see.
In the next day below 50%, I'll be very surprised.
So he's the man to watch for 2016?
In the party, but beyond. It's too far. I mean, you're asking me to make a guess, and the nature of the work I don't guess. At least what I can say in the party, he will win. But it is going to be very difficult, because you also need to remember that if it is acrimonious in the party, there's going to be apathy.
Right.
When that sets in, as in 2008, another should forget 2016. If he goes into 2016 with a divided party, he should forget it.
Right, so as a united party is key. But Efson, we are grateful for your time on today's Big Story. My name is Stephen Enti, and this is where we wrap with today's Big Story. We'll be back with an interactive segment, and Maranturi will be here. Stay with us.